Welcome to Stockport Referee's fourth episode of Behind the Whistle. I'm Michael Johnson, and today I was joined by Will Davis, referee and physiotherapist. So today we're here with Will Davis. Will, I know it must be a busy time for you at the beginning of the new season, so thank you for joining us today.
Not a problem. Really happy to be here.
So let's get straight into it. What would your best advice be for preparing for a game?
Really good question. The beauty, I suppose, that I have is that I can answer this from both the referee side of things and also from a physiotherapy side of things. So for me, I think really I could talk really and make it really complex and give you loads of little things about all the science and everything like that. When actually, we should probably just stick to the basics, I think, really, in terms of preparing for a game. So are we sleeping right? Are we managing our stress, which is easier said than done, even for myself at the minute? How are we eating? Are we getting the right amount of protein in, for example? How have we trained? Have we trained during the week? How have we prepared ourselves for that game? Are we fit? And I think if we get all of those basics right, then if that can feed psychologically and give us the confidence when we first step out onto the pitch, we feel confident we've got all of those factors right. So really, in terms of preparing for a game, it's just controlling the controllables. Like, it's a bit of a referee phrase, that, isn't it, actually?
No, but I totally understand where you're coming from, because like you just mentioned, the sleep aspect.
Yeah.
If you have a good night's sleep, you're going to be more prepared. You're going to be more up for the game the following day. Exactly.
And this is why there's no need to complicate it, really. If you sleep right, you're going to be more switched on. Scientifically, everything. There's so many research studies that prove how valuable sleep is to performance and just going about life in general. So if we can control those things in diet, even little things like making sure you're hydrated enough before going into a game, all of those things will then really help you on the game. And then we talk about the psychological aspects of things, which again is easier said than done, to make sure that you are psychologically ready. But if you can control all of those factors before you go into a game, then you're going to feel confident, which is what we want. And then from a physio side of things, again, I could talk all day to you about everything. For me, I always think strength and conditioning is key. So whether it's going to the gym and doing a bit of resistance training, we can do a lot from home as well, which a lot of people don't realise. But controlling those factors and making sure you're the best version of you that you can be will really help in terms of your game preparation.
So as long as you're prepared for the game, you're going to be ready for the game. That's basically in your head.
Fingers crossed, mate. Yeah.
So what advice would you give for during the game?
During the game, again, controlling what we can. So making sure we're hydrated. That's one of the key things. Obviously, there's not many stoppages in play, so it can be tricky to get adequate fluids on board during the game. But if there is a chance, then great, use it. But again, looking at those periods, so just before the game, what are we doing? What have we eaten? A lot of referees, I find, have a routine that works for them. And I think for that, it's all. I was speaking to one of the referees that was doing their fitness test recently, and all I said to them is, when you've had that good training session, when you've done well, and when you've passed the test in training, what did you do before? What was that worked? And I think for me, it's all about noting down, making a plan of what worked for you when it was good.
Yeah.
Because when things are going really well, it's really easy for all of us just to crack on and think, oh, this is great. But it's really, I think when things are going well and you're doing everything right in the training, it's making a plan of what was that made me perform well. And then you use that for your next game.
Yeah. Perfect.
So, yeah, just to highlight, hydration's key. Use half time. Again, what are we eating before the game? Hopefully we're not going to McDonald's before. Because that's definitely not a good thing. And then again, are we warming up? Because again, we think about psychology that comes from all of this as well. I don't know about you, but if I don't have a warm up, I'm psychologically not ready to start.
Most definitely. But I mean, the warm ups depend on the different referee. Some referees might like it strenuous, but I think you've just got to find out what works well for you.
Definitely, mate. Like there's no 100% right answer. I wish I could come on here and preach and just say, yeah, this is it. This is exactly what you do, but you can't. But find something that works for you. Make sure you warm up, make sure you're hydrated, make sure you eat properly and you fuel for the game, and then you're halfway there.
They're the basics. It's again, like you just said, for preparing for a game, it's just making sure you get those basics right.
Exactly. Get the basics right.
So you can probably guess where we're going next. What can we do after a game?
Yeah, so after a game, again, I think there's two sides to this. We've got to recover. And the two sides that I feel are important is mental or psychological recovery and then physical recovery. I think firstly, after a game, I don't know about you, I feel drained a lot of the time after the game. And again, depends what suits that individual referee. If it's going to meet the friends at the can I say go to the pub? I don't know. Is that professional? Or whether it's go and just see your friends or speak to your coach, or anything to help you reflect on the game if that works for you straight after, or maybe it might not on the next day, but anything to help you recover psychologically firstly is really important. The second thing which I can talk a little bit more about is the physical recovery. Now, for me, the absolute key thing to do is actively recover. So whether it's the next day getting on a bike at the gym, going swimming, even again, it's quite basic, but going on a walk. Yeah. Anything that's active is really, really important, and that can really, really help you recover. Doesn't need to be anything too strenuous, but some sort of active recovery is really great in terms of helping with that process and getting you ready for the next game.
Perfect. So coming from a physio side of things, what would your top tips be to avoid any injury?
Yeah.
And I know it's not a nailed on answer, but what are your top tips?
Yeah, another really good question. For me, I think, and I say this a lot, you've got to earn the right to avoid injury. If we were to just go out and referee twice a week and do nothing else, we would not be earning the right to avoid injury. We can't just expect to go out there and do nothing and just be fine for the season. You're a very lucky person if you can do that. I wish I was that person. Yeah. So my first thing is strength and conditioning. It's absolutely key in terms of avoiding injury and also making sure you can perform at the top of your game. And when I talk about strength and conditioning, I mean going to the gym, for example. That's one thing, and doing some resistance training, some specific resistance training, really. And obviously, there's lots and lots of things that we can incorporate into that. And that's probably where I'm plugging myself here, aren't I? But that's probably where if you're unsure of what to do, and that's when you need to seek advice, because it's something that you could make a small change that could make a massive bit of difference in terms of your refereeing career. So that's the first thing. Make sure you're strong and make sure you earn the right.
But just to reiterate what you said earlier on, it doesn't have to be the gym.
No.
It can be at home. I mean, throughout this lockdown, we've found ways of working at home and everything. So, like you said earlier, some people might not want to go to the gym, might not feel comfortable going to the gym. So make sure you do something at home. Yeah,
exactly. And I think there's a massive misconception as well that when I say you need to be strong, you need to be going to the gym or doing something, people think, oh, is he saying that I need to be in the gym an hour a day or a few hours a day every day? And the answer is no. If you're not going to the gym at all now, all I would say is maybe think about going and doing a home workout for 20 minutes. Like you don't need to be going to the gym every day. And there's so much equipment in our homes that we don't even realize that we can use. And you've also got your own body weight, which can help massively. We've got stairs, so we can do exercises on there. Obviously, I don't want any injuries. But there's so much we can do, and it doesn't have to be drastic. But making a small change and having a consistent effort over the season of even just doing that one training session every week that you weren't doing before, then that's going to make you better. And that's going to make you stronger and less likely to potentially get injured.
Perfect. So I know you've just mentioned your new business.
Yeah.
What can you offer with DW Fitness?
You're unsure the name then, right? WD Physio and Fitness. So firstly, I set this up really. Obviously, I've been a physio for a good few years now, and I've been refereeing for quite a long time, as you know. So I wanted to combine the two and really help with referees to, one, reduce the chance of injury, two, make them fitter and better referees as a result. Sorry, mate, I just got a fly that's just flew. Yeah, so and make them the best referee they can be. And I feel from a physio side of things, I've had a lot of experience now working with referees, and obviously as a referee myself, I can really relate to that process and help referees as much as I can. So in terms of what we can offer from a physio side of things, we can offer general physio. So if anyone has any injuries or knocks from a game, we provide a mobile service a lot of the time. So I go to the referee, I will assess them and make a treatment plan going forwards to help them with their injury, and not only help them with their injury, but make sure that once we make that injury a lot better, is that we want to carry on that process through the season so it doesn't happen again. So that's one thing. The other side of from physio again is that strength and conditioning side of things. A referee may not have a specific injury, maybe refereeing as normal. However, they may want to get better, or they want to make themselves a little bit more resilient, and that's again where physio can come in and really help that referee provide a tailored sort of treatment plan for them. To be honest, mate. Luckily, we've got an app, so whenever I see a referee and they need to prescribe them specific exercises or want to give them a plan, they can download the app and the exercises go straight to them. So that's been quite a good addition. And then the other thing that we just introduced, I'm going on here, gosh.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
The other thing we just introduced is Recovery Wednesdays. So bearing in mind that a lot of referees, I know the season's just starting, so they will have a game on a Tuesday midweek. So my idea is that we can go in on a Wednesday and help these referees to recover a little bit. And again, whether that's providing tailored strengthening, stretching programs, anything that's going to help that referee recover and be ready for Saturday, great. And again, also getting there with a little bit of strength and conditioning to really help that referee be the best person they can be and recover well and know exactly what they need to do to make sure they're right for the next game. So really that's what WD Physio and Fitness can help with. And then there's a fitness side as well, but I could go on forever.
Maybe that could be one of our meetings in the near future.
Oh yeah, see, I've gone on for so long here. I bet you're fed up with me.
And I know you put quite a few things on Instagram as well on your page. So we'll make sure we link that to this video as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Typical. I feel like a typical referee. I don't really go on there too much, and I'm getting better at that. But if anyone does want to get in touch, just for any sort of advice or anything, I'm there.
Perfect. Thank you. So finally, going on to the refereeing side of things now. What advice would you give any referee, any new referee, any experienced?
Yeah, for me, I think really is enjoying it. That's the main thing. There's no point in doing anything if we don't enjoy it and enjoy that process. So my number one bit of advice would be, firstly, go out there and make sure whatever you're doing, you enjoy it. And I know sometimes we can have really tough games. I'll put my hands up and say, it can be tough at times, but if you really try and seek out enjoyment in the experiences that you're getting through refereeing, because it's like, as I'm sure you'll know, there's so much. Refereeing provides so many experiences and so many opportunities, and it's massively in my life. So I think really just go out and seek those opportunities and try and enjoy them. That's the first thing. The second thing is hard work. There's so many people that out there in the refereeing world, such as yourselves. I know you all do a great job at helping referees at any level. And I think really, if any referee wants to work hard and to get better, there's so many resources out there. So the second bit is just go out there, work hard, and try your best to become the best referee you can be. They're really my two top tips.
I think just from my point of view, if you make a mistake, fine, you make a mistake. As long as you learn from that, you move on. You hopefully won't make that mistake again.
Definitely. I think that's a really tough thing about our sort of world in refereeing and things, is that if we make a mistake, it's probably even on a Sunday league game, like, you know about it.
Yes.
And it feels horrendous. Like, no one wants to make mistakes, but accepting that sometimes they will happen and then learning from them, I think is really important. Because at the end of the day, it will make you a better referee. As much as it's rubbish to get something wrong, and none of us want to get anything wrong, we learn from it.
Yeah, so, you've got to learn from it, haven't you?
Exactly. And I think that's why it's so important that's where you guys come in, when so especially new referees, they do sort of make a mistake or they're not sure about something, then they can come to you and talk through it and then be better as a result.
Definitely. Well, thank you for taking the time out today and joining us. And we wish you all the best with the season and also your business.
Thank you. Same to you guys.
Thank you to Will for joining us today for Behind the Whistle. You can find his business page on Instagram, WD_Physio. Make sure you keep checking our socials for upcoming appointments and news about Stockport referees.